Alright, welcome to BS Homestead. I'm going to go ahead and show you how we milk a cow. So you can see here we're just throwing in some hot water in a bucket. And it has a hot water and a little bit of vinegar. And then we use white bucket with some warm water and some soap. Try to clean up the work area. That way like we avoid getting poop on anything. And it's just good to... And we use this like mat here so catches anything, so if a cow poops or pees or whatever, we can move this out, wash it out, and bring it back. Now here's kind of a setup that has evolved with time as far as milking. So we've taken a trellis and kind of bent it around like this. Allows us to have basically kind of an open area. It's got some shade, you know, when it's sunny in the afternoon sun. It shades the cow and shades us while we're milking. But it's also not totally enclosed, so it doesn't catch a ton of wind when we have the windstorms come through. So it actually works pretty good. And then we can also hang the milker up here to drain when we're done milking. But one thing that's cool is we have a T-post. Don't have a fancy stall or anything, just a T-post that kind of holds the cow in. And we use this metal bar here to deter the cow from kicking. This right here is kind of a cool setup where she puts feed in here, and then the cow will start working on the feed, and then once the feed's done, the cow will knock this off and then get to the lick tub.
And this is our milking machine today. It cost $155.
No.
If you
it's a little more than that.
Say 1,500.
1,500.
Yeah, it's kind of expensive. So.
And another. This one's our old one where we used to milk by hand, and that one's the one where we milk with a milking machine.
This is a MIDI milker machine that we're decided to go with, and it's got a 6-gallon tank. So if our cow produces, you know, a couple gallons or so, then we have plenty of room if we ever wanted to do a second cow. And plus the options are, the one that was less than this was slightly less than we wanted, so this is the next step up, which is significantly larger, but it still met our needs. Also the price wasn't significantly higher either, so we just leave this right here and we cover it up with a blue tarp, keep it out of the weather. Having a lot of buckets is useful when you're milking. You might use a bucket for grabbing some cubes or some feed, another bucket for like some clean water, another bucket for milk. Just buckets, clean buckets are very handy to have on hand, so if you have clean containers, that's good. Just keep in mind that cows can, especially if you're milking by hand, will kick the containers. So plastic containers will probably be destroyed if you're dealing directly around a cow. That's why stainless steel containers are kind of handy. Good for cleanliness as well. Alright, so there's a freaking bug in this one, so we're going to have to clean that up. So that's the thing about milking you have to realize is, like when we did this by hand, we put a screen over it to keep the bugs from getting in there.
Don't touch. Your hands are dirty. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, so...
Okay, take that in and have Avery rinse it out.
So you can put a screen on there, and that keeps the flies out and stuff, and it kind of helps especially if you're milking by hand. Now if you're using a milking machine, it goes straight into the milk container, so there won't be any bugs that can get into it, which is really cool.
You do not want to milk at this time.
There's a lot of kind of useful tools when you're milking. So like this little pad is kind of cool for your knees, a seat cushion or to kneel on, or some kind of pad, because if you're dealing with milking by hand especially, having a little pad around can make your life a lot more comfortable. We have this container here, which is useful for like little rags, clean rags to like either wash the udder down or to clean it or to dry it. I think we have a dry set and a wet set. This side's got a wet one with some soapy water to wash the udder off. And then we have a bottle of water to squirt and to rinse it off. And we have a bottle of oil to like lubricate it. And we actually have 2 bottles of water here. And then some honey, organic honey to prevent bacterial growth. And we usually put a little bit of the iodine solution in here to kind of go up there and catch the each nipple to disinfect it after we're done cleaning. And then this right here is lanolin, which allows, protects the udders. So what you'll notice is sometimes these calves can be really hard on these nipples, and what we found is we had to separate them recently because to let one of them heal because the calf was biting on it so bad. So we've been working on healing it for a little while. So that's one thing to be aware of. And then this right here is just that iodine solution that came with the milking machine. But you can see all these little things, everything's kind of in this little basket, and you can just, you know, after you're done, set it all up for next time and then carry it out here and you're ready to go.
You need a washcloth because it really helps to keep the bugs out. So
yeah, if you do get any bugs in there, you can filter them out with, you know, screens and everything when you're screening the milk. But in general, it's better to have, you know, your containers sealed off. That way you don't have any bugs get in your milk. What we like to do is have everything set up before we deal with the cow. Abe is working on the hot water and the water in the house to clean up the milking machine when we're done. That way the water stays hot. But once cows have been trained and you have a routine, they kind of tend to want to listen pretty easily. But you notice we'll have the halter on and we have a rope ready to go on her so we can handle her and move her around as needed. And you'll notice you just go straight to the feed bucket. And then we just have a rope tied around here and we just hook that small short lead rope to that, and that lead rope we just keep there so it's not very long, so it doesn't get tangled and stuff, but it also rotates and allows us to connect it to other things. That way it's easier to handle the cow. Yeah, so one thing you'll know about cows when you're milking them is they try to guard some of their milk for their calf, so you have to be kind of mindful of, like, you know, these back legs when you're milking, to try to be careful. And that's why we have this metal bar. All right, so this is kind of an anti-kick bar that deters kicking. So we usually have it pretty tight on there. And then Brayson's getting this clamp on. It's like as tight as it can go on one of them, and then the other one is one that's not as tight. So there's some that go on both sides. This one is a less expensive one that only goes on one side, the side that you're milking on, and then you just want it as tight as you can get it. This is a lick bucket, so you know, if you want your milk to be sweeter, having a lick tub will make your milk a little sweeter because she's ingesting some sweet stuff, you know, in the process of producing the milk. But it also is just good for getting her some nutrients and some other substances, you know, in addition to just grass. And then also it's a nice treat, so you make the experience really good for your cow, and then you know, she'll be more cooperative, of course, because she knows it's good for her. And of course, you always want to love on your cows and be very loving, and they like to kind of be itched sometimes up here.
Cleaning.
Okay, so we move the tail up out of the way, just kind of put it somewhere, you know, attached to the fence so that it doesn't swing down and get in the milk or get in the bucket or make something dirty, so that's kind of good. So right now Brayson's cleaning his hands, getting ready to wash her off, because you'll notice when you first start there can be stuff that gets on her teats here, like dirt and stuff, and so it's good to start by washing, you know, all of the dirt off and anything that's splashed from the mud. So,
she's been laying in the mud.
And if she's been laying in the mud too, that'll also get more mud on her. And you'll see one of the teats is a little bit hurt, so that's why we're treating that one, and we're trying to keep the calf off that one while we get that one to heal. But always taking good care of the teats is good, because it prevents infections, prevents mastitis. In fact, when we first milked her, she was the back of it, one of them was getting inflamed and she was starting to have issues, so we wanted to make sure we treated it immediately and milked it immediately, to the point where we were able to finally get rid of that. So we also clean not just the teats, but the bag and everything around there, and so that there's no dirt near your milking process.
Milk by hand.
And when we milk by hand, we actually do clean the entire bag. But you could kind of localize it a little bit more as long as you're not going to be working with everything. But sometimes you might have to move a cow around a little bit by kind of like tapping the legs and kind of trying to shift around the weight to get an angle. So, and
quickly. You got to do this quickly. I use the other one because it rinses better. This is more localized. Dryer. Or, don't dryer. Betadine.
What's that called again?
Betadine.
So this is called betadine.
It's like
It's an iodine
wash or something
solution.
is what it's actually called.
And
we got it from Mitty.
We got it from Mitty. It came with the package, but what we've done is we just put it in a small little glass jar and put a little bit in there, and then we use a little bit of that to splash each
It's okay. Just
udder to make sure that it's disinfected, so you can see. Just swirling it around.
And they have cups that are built for this.
Yeah, and they have stuff that they're...
And we do whatever the hell we want to do.
Yeah, they have special cups built for this, but we just, sometimes we're improvising out here on BS Homestead. All the time. And figuring out what works, what doesn't. Sometimes we don't go with the standard things. We just figure out what works and roll with it. Okay, so then this is that dry cloth container earlier. So
it's that.
You're supposed to let this iodine sit for 30 seconds.
No, gently. Just
and then you dry it off when you're done. And you just kind of gently dry it off. And then you actually will squirt out a little milk from each teat to kind of, just in case there was any on the tip there. Speed is kind of important because you'll notice that cows will like to kick, you know, when you're trying.
Well, she's sore on this one, and that's why she's kicked.
Yeah, she's a little sore on that one, but by expressing
Just don't let
each
your
udder,
baby cow
it keeps them from getting clogged. And it also, by doing it ourselves, it's more gentle, especially with the milking machine. It's very gentle on that udder.
We go over here.
So they have a little switch right
You gotta
here.
do it fast, honey. Just video, okay? This is upside down. Yay, let's go.
All right, this is upside down, and
Turn it on.
all right. So once this is on, it creates a vacuum. So you have it upside down, and it holds the vacuum, so that you can
I'm scared,
suck into each. So you get to do two front ones and then the back ones, and then it starts to pull the milk. The other thing is you want to watch it because the moment it's done, you want to be ready to turn it off. So sometimes the calf will naturally headbutt the bag to kind of get milk to come down. So sometimes a little pushing on it will cause milk to come down. So, okay, so she's done now. You see there's not as much milk coming out now. And then you grab this black valve, which releases the vacuum so that you can unhook these. But you got to be careful not to get these in the mud because they'll want to fall down on the dirt. And if you do get it on the dirt, then it's a problem because then you can get dirt in your milk. So here's the cleanup process. So the reason you take this cap off is to make it so you can clean the inside around this seal, the edge of the seal, and then make sure that that doesn't hold in some milk even when you flush water through the system.
I'm getting the excess milk out of the hose right now.
Okay, gravity up. But then she's pulling off the little rubber seal. And just give that all a bath and submerge all that. But then we got to get all our milk out of here.
Milk bucket, please.
To the milk bucket, which we got earlier, which is right here. Look at all that delicious milk.
It's very heavy, so we transfer it into the lighter one.
But at this point, we do everything we can to keep this milk super clean because it's.
Can you take that in the house?
So here's the way we filter the milk. We just pour it through this metal funnel into a jar, and then we have a little filter there to filter it. So that's in a nutshell. That's basically all we do, and then we label the lids with the date. All right. So we first just start off by rinsing it off. We just rinse this off with some hose water to start with. Now this isn't the final water, this is just a general quick first rinse to get most of the milk out. We don't ever count on the hose being pristine, super clean. That's why we do all the other cleaning processes after that. So while this is soaking, we're gonna treat that teat real quick. So this is her trying to pee all over the place. So you always have to be prepared for the likely possibility that at any second she can poop or pee. Yeah, and also sometimes she kind of arches her back like that, and that's how you know she's about to poop. So cool thing about having this mat is we can pull this out and hose it all off and be completely done with it. Of course, we're doing a video on it, so things are going a little bit slower than usual. But right now we're treating the teat with tea tree oil, doTERRA tea tree oil, Melaleuca, to disinfect and kind of keep that teat from getting infected. And then also using a little bit of that iodine solution on there as well when we're all done, just to make sure she's got a good dose on there to keep that healing. And then usually wears gloves, keep her hands nice and clean when she's working on it. And also the lanolin, if it gets on your hands, it doesn't come off really good. So this is the lanolin we're using right now. This provides a really good layer of protection on the teat, but it'll also stick on your hand and won't come off really good if you get it on your hand. So
I'm warming it up right now to make it go on easier.
She's warming it up to make it go on easier.
It's okay, Mommy. It's okay, Elsie.
But obviously, like, if she's hurt, she doesn't want you messing with it, so you have to be cognizant of that and be very gentle, and because she'll want to kick you to say, don't mess with my wound. So that's one of the challenges.
We do all 4 teats.
And then we also do all 4 teats
just to help protect them.
Protect all of them.
It's dirty.
All right, you can see the first pass where it's a little bit milky because it was, you know, all the milk on the little seals and edges and everything. It was all kind of rinsed off in that first bucket. All right, so now we're putting that seal back on. Yeah, so, and clipping that. Just kind of rotates in to attach. Rotates out to unattach. Make sure all the tubes are connected. The reason we got it all connected is you clean it by sucking through the fluids you want to clean the system with.
Okay, go on.
So, turning it on and now sucking all that water through it. And then pulling it in and out kind of creates a little bit of bubbly effect. And a little bit of resistance in there that air and water. So, basically just sucking all this stuff through. Flushing the system out on the first pass. This is where it has soap in it. It creates the soap to clean it out. Okay, so now this container's got that mostly clean water, and it's flushed out all the milk and stuff like that with the soap. And by doing this, it kind of flushes, it cleans off the lid area. And then we're ready to dump that out. I just recorded if you have any doubts, and just cut out whatever you want. Alright, so then this handle goes forward, and then once you get all sealed up again, you can clean it again. The next part, so this kind of hooks around there to keep it off the ground. And then you go ahead and run it, Ezra. You just want to let it finish getting all the water out of the system as much as you can. Just so, and then get this to drain all the water too down in there. Alright, then we gotta take it apart so that it completely dries out for the next time.
It's okay, Austin. You can
Put these
He's gonna see you when that teat feels better.
up high out of the way and it'll drain. That's kind of the cool thing about having the trellis. And then we gotta dump out this last final cleanse. Put the water over there so it helps grow some grass. And then that was pretty much it. Here, we just let everything air dry. So the cool thing is you do all your milking and then you do all your cleanup once you're done the next time around. So don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
And then we can take the bar off and let her go.
That's it. You can grow tall, Mama.
All right, and then we can unhook her and let her go.
She's a terrible herd dog.
But as you can imagine, we'd be able to sell some of this stuff, you know, and we would be able to give a lot of, you know, milk for pretty affordable for a lot of people. But unfortunately, the government makes that illegal. So, and that's why a lot of people end up paying a lot of money for their milk. Thank you for joining us at BS Homestead. Hopefully this was helpful. Please like and subscribe. And we'll see you next time.